team pick. Radiant team pick.
Axe.
Radiant
Jenkins had
team
mentioned
pick.
from the
Dire.
last
Winter Wyvern.
These teams have like prepped out. They anticipate what it is that the draft's going to be. I will say that the Viper Wyvern, I mean, it just sort of aesthetically looks weird. I'm trying to figure out if it's actually good or not.
10
though.
seconds remaining.
T1 ran this combo a lot, ESL 1, and it looked pretty good
5
there.
seconds
Like, the
remaining.
idea is like Viper's a good hero if the fights are long, and Wyvern prevents anyone from getting bursted. So, and then you just have like this insane sustained magical damage. I think that, I mean, it's stupid because we're 2 picks in, but I really like Undying's draft right now. Like, it would be scary for me as 4 Zoomers. Maybe it's like a misread on my part to Axe hero. Like, I don't noble him as much, but I feel really comfortable if I was in Undying shoes.
And we now see the Invoker come out as well. So this is something that's pretty interesting. You know, it's kind of feels like an answer to the Wyvern in a way, right? Because you've got this Cold Embrace that's sort of thought of as this
5
broken
seconds
mechanic,
remaining.
something that's
Radiant
really annoying to
team
have
back.
to deal with. Holy Locket, but now you've got like Axe Call, and then on top of that, if later on you get into the Manta style or whatever, it's going to be pure damage going through it, doesn't really care about it. And then on top of that, eventually, Invoker Aghanim, Cataclysm. So I'm kind of wondering if they're just going to try and
10
play around this
seconds
for
remaining.
Zoomers, sort of poke and prod a little bit with the Invoker and wait for the big calls. And then the
5
big question
seconds
becomes,
remaining.
all right, is it Sammy Axe or is it Brax Axe? And I am firmly on the Brax Axe, despite how difficult.
Jenkins himself also said that he would prefer that Brax tried the axe and Sammy Boy picked
Dire
something
team
else.
back.
And we do have a lot of carries still in the pool. Only what is his name? Terrorblade and Medusa banned out at the moment. So maybe we have some good things coming up.
You know, speaking of Brax Axe, there was a
Radiant
time where
team
Dota was
back.
bugged, and you could make your username as long as you wanted. And Brax made his name Brax Axe for the entire screen. He was the most obnoxious player to play against. So I really hope he plays Axe and he's that obnoxious, because it was unplayable. Like, I had to change from player names to hero names just because of
10 seconds
Oh
remaining.
my god. That must have been
Dire
really,
team
really rough.
back.
Dude, next level play. You got to do it whenever you can.
I mean, you
Find
gotta
that
do it to get it
level
fixed, right? It's like, I picked techies at TI because I wanted them to remove the hero. And they didn't do it, but it was worth it, apparently.
Right. I
Gotta
mean, you
do
won
some
TI.
things.
Would
that was
you
okay.
rather have won TI or got
10
10 out of
seconds
Dota?
remaining.
That's the real question for you.
I'll take the TI win, but like,
Okay, alright.
5
honestly,
seconds
like,
remaining.
yeah, some things I'm not tournament. Like, I maybe prefer techies on because he's really annoying. Anyways, to focus back on the draft, so this is a serious battle for
Radiant
the grand
team
finals,
back.
chance to go to TI. They say what 4 Zoomers have done is, even though the first pick, they've revealed 2 cores, and the reason they've done this is because they did not believe that they would get Invoker on the second phase. They just played the Axe Invoker combo, and they knew that like the Undying team, their winner back advantage, basically they got to
10
watch them
seconds
play and they
remaining.
could react to their drafts. So that means that their draft is a little
5
bit more
seconds
susceptible
remaining.
than most drafts, as usually you have like a core support combo in your first 2. And now they have like 2 heroes to ban for. You know, they banned the Luna Axe for, so Luna Ursa for the Axe, and then they're banning the TA for the Invoker. And like heroes that normally you would ban if you first Invoker, like Puck or Void Spirit or Kunkka. I mean, maybe not those ones, but traditionally you can't ban them as you have to ban for 2 heroes.
Other thing that I'm seeing here as well, right? They left the Hoodwink in. I'm curious if they're going to take that out right now on Undying, because that was that other piece of the draft I saw in that game that really solid to me, at least. The Aghanim Scepter later on. The energy even just sharpshooter combo together with this. It's like a tremendous amount of pickoff. And they're taking a while with this last round. I mean, I guess hypothetically they could either ban it or take it themselves, but that kind of looks like a weird bit of like heroes, right? There's hard stuns, but it's like heavy commit, or it's bushwhack, which is kind of a funky one.
And specifically against Invoker, the counter to this hero, when he's been played like recently, has always been a hard lockdown. It's Puck, Void Spirit, Kunkka, and TA. I mean, TA doesn't function the same, and DK, sorry. But I would expect Undying to ban out a hero that they think counters Puck in game, and just pick the Puck on 15. Our wonderful stats man is giving us some statistics about how all three of the top heroes are ignored, which were Timbersaw, Puck, and Nix's Assassin. Which sort of shows like in the finals of tournaments, especially in the BL5, you often enter into like sort of a special meta between the two teams.
And that's a result of them watching each other play games throughout the entire tournament, right?
No.
Tournament.
Think back to also all of the recent patches and plays that Undying has gotten. Every
Radiant
single
team
game of the
pick.
last 4 that they've played, they've been able to first phase Ancient Apparition. That's taken out this time. One of those games
Dire
they paired it
team
together with the DK, that's taken out this time. 2 of the other times they paired it with an Axe, that's been taken now by Zoomers. So Zoomers are taking away these heroes that Undying has felt comfortable on, and now Undying trying to take something else back for themselves, they're going to steal the Hoodwink.
10 seconds remaining.
I'm really curious
5
as to
seconds
what
remaining.
we're going to see with the hard carries. There's a lot of them have been banned out already, and I'm just not sure. Like you mentioned earlier, Lyrical, what they're going to do with that axe. And I know you're personally not really a fan of the carry axe, so you're hoping that it goes on Brax, but I just have no idea right now. What do you think?
I hope that making frags, nothing else works here.
But if
I'm
they-
trying to figure out now, like, Owie, like, dude, what's the? Do you need to go for
Radiant
something like a
team
lion here?
pick.
Like, how do you deal with this Viper? That's my biggest thing. Get it? This here seems too strong.
Yeah, I think personally, I think Viper is, or he will be in EU qualifiers at least. I think that hero is, well, he was in SA qualifiers, which is first pick or ban. I'm surprised he like got through to the 2-3, to be honest.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's because from the 2-3 position, like Viper right now, he can go
5
mid and he can
seconds
go
remaining.
offlane. It's so hard to deal with him. He can even go 5 position. I mean, not this game because they have 2 supports. But I think how you deal with Viper, hypothetically, is you pick a mid who should be okay with him. And Volker
Dire
is
team
okay.
pick.
I mean, it can get pretty bad for him. And then you pick a lane that has the ability to kill the lane because he's really powerful, but he's also really slow and vulnerable in a sense. Snapfire sort of does that because he has 2 deals, and you can just sort of stun him, slow him, get on top of him, and kill him.
10 seconds remaining.
Tell me
Dire
about the
team
Spectre
back.
pick. What does that? I guess that's the answer for them.
I don't know what's going. They're ready. They've been
I'm
super
scared.
prepped.
That's a really good pick from Port Zoomers. I think it's good versus Witchwife and Viper and Spectre for sure. I don't know about Hoodwink. I would
10
assume.
seconds remaining.
I would actually assume Hoodwink is like slightly good versus Nagasarn, but like not in any
5
meaningful way.
seconds remaining.
And that's because like
Radiant
this
team
Naga
back.
hero in this game will push out every lane, and it's very easy to teamfight for Spectre because he presses Haunt and you just press Sleep, and you just have the better reset. Also versus Viper, you sort of like shove the lane with Illusion. Viper doesn't lose that lane, but Naga will free farm because Viper sort of has to use Nether Toxin to push into lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Interesting. So what does that mean for their last picks?
5
Who do
seconds
you-
remaining.
What kind of what do they need to finish out this draft? I mean, they were drafting so fast, but I mean, Undying has like no time
Dire
left.
team
either.
back.
Right. Yeah, this is the part that feels a little weird to me. So obviously they're looking now and anticipating that with the 3 cores, they're looking for one more support. They take the Undying out of the pool. I'm curious if this Snapfire is going to be a 4 or a 5. I feel like with the Naga, you can maybe
10 seconds
run
remaining.
it 5 and then just pick another ranged core for a ranged support
5
rather for
seconds
up top.
remaining.
But they're anticipating that like they wanted that Undying to sort of dominate the lane a little bit more.
I think Undying are banning Undying because right now 4 Zoomers are lacking a Naga Sleep
Radiant
combo.
team
I
back.
think their next ban will probably be Disruptor or Sister of the Moon, because those are the 2 that are like generally left. How Nagasarn functions, because I really like Nagasarn as a hero, is that you want to be able to push all the lanes, but eventually you want to be able to like group up and take a fight with Song. And if you have a
10
combo like
seconds
Disruptor or
remaining.
Team Black Hole, it makes it really streamlined and easy to play.
5 seconds remaining.
So tell me a little bit about the tempo of the game. Which draft so far has like better control of the tempo of
Dire
the game? Do
team
you think that they're gonna try to take this into late game, or is this going to? Are they gonna try to like make things happen with like Axe and Snapfire?
I'm not sure. I think 4 Zoomers have, like, I don't know what they're gonna pick for their last hero, But in my head, their 4 heroes look good together, move around the map.
10
Like
seconds
how
remaining.
they disable heroes with Constructs Invoker, combined with Snapfire spells.
5
and like
seconds
Axel
remaining.
probably have an early blink because he's getting Spectre Wyvern. It looks like they should have decent options in the early game. But it's not like Undying's draft is worse. It's just it looks more smooth because Wyvern Hoodwink support duo is like it's not simple to make moves, and Viper it doesn't make it simple either.
That is the part that's kind of weird to me about this as well. I mean, I guess to be fair, like the main hero that's going to be around on Zoom, Boker Quaswex, he's not even like necessarily great at setting things up. I feel like we've been talking a lot about Naga Siren throughout this, but Nox just hit us up and said that there's only been 4 actual picks so far in the qualifiers. So my read of this hero feels very off and weird right now. But yeah, I want to see if they go for one of those sort of big wombo-y, combo-y type of picks, the last one. Can get a little bit weird. And apparently they were all
Radiant
losses.
team pick.
So not great for Zoomers.
To be fair though, Zoomers did beat Undying with Naga Siren, I think 2 times in the last tournament they faced off in. So there's some like specific to Zoomers Naga Siren significance in
I think I remember the last panel that both of you
10
were on. We were
seconds
talking
remaining.
about this and that there are people who really specialize with Naga Siren, and perhaps 4 Zoomers has that as well.
You may now select your heroes.
It's a good pick. They saw the Abaddon, so they knew that Viper wouldn't be able to pressure Naga Siren at all. So they opted for something that, honestly, like Sanking is usually a pretty high priority when you pick Naga Siren. I'm sort of surprised they didn't ban it, but maybe they have some idea against Sanking as a hero. They don't like respect what the hero does versus Naga Siren.
Interesting. They did expend a lot of their bans to protect their first 2 heroes, so maybe they were just letting it go. But now that we have these drafts set, gentlemen, which draft is better? Skill aside, draft only. Which draft do you like better, Lyrical?
Actually, I really like the Sand a lot. I felt like all the heroes didn't really have stuff that they were able to do and make moves. Now Sand King can rotate to a lane, Spectre Con in afterwards, maybe Moon. I think this Sand King is going to carry him through that mid game, and then Moba will carry him in the late.
I actually completely agree. I think the Sand King pick made a huge difference. I think if they didn't have Sand King as an offlaner, you wouldn't have that normal like hard lockdown for Invoker. And Invoker would just sort of ran rampant this game. You know, you look at the other 4 heroes, none of them really kill him. I think this draft is completely dependent on how Saberlight's game is compared to how Brax's game is. And if Saberlight has like any sort of decent game, then it's really good for Undying for me.
Okay, well, it looks like we have both of our casters on the side of Undying in terms of draft. And, but, you know, we did say, from the, like I mentioned, the previous panel, Jenkins did say Axe, he wanted to see Brax on Axe, so let's see if Brax, Axe can take it, or if Undying will continue to win every single game they've played in this tournament as we get into game 1 of Undying versus 4 Zoomers. Lyrical and AUI, take it away, gentlemen.
That's enough.
Thank you so much, Sumi. And yep, we're already into the game, and as per usual, we have ourselves the pause to start. And of course, the disconnects will come out fast and furious. I'm curious. You know, we talked a lot about the Sand King, how good we thought it was. Snapfire, it's like kind of a lost hero. They're starting to pick it up now again as well. I remember when I was watching the Eastern European qualifiers, people were talking about as a replacement for the Hoodwink. How do you think Ocean's game looks this one?
It's for similar reasons as why it would have been a really good Invoker game if there's no Sand King. I think it actually makes it sort of a good Snapfire game. You can sort of play at range, nothing will really catch you, and you just get off a really good Mortimer's Kiss. Even with the Sand King though, I don't think Sand King really wants to blink in and stop support Snapfire for ulting, so I think she should find a pretty good time. A lot of the reasons why this hero fell off is because Little Shredder got nerfed. But honestly, even when it was really strong, I felt like going for the first 2 spells was really strong. And especially against Wyvern, you want to have a lot of magical damage. I think overall Ocean should have a pretty good time this.
Okay, it'll be something to watch for sure. And there's a lot of things in this that we've sort of seen be strong combos come online well. Like particularly the Axe combo together with the Invoker has been really clutch. There's been a couple of times I remember watching again in the Eastern King qualifiers where there was like a Naga song into an Axe call, and then like the Axe immediately gets hexed as the song ends. He's trying to hit a call off. So hopefully don't see anything like that. But the other one is Spectre. This hero is like arms crazy slow, it feels like. If you don't get out of the laning, you end up struggling at all there. Do you feel like that's going to be a problem at all for Tomato here? Does he have an okay lane?
His lane, no, his lane should be completely fine. Spectre historically has always been an Axe lane counter, just because Axe actually doesn't have, like, what beats Spectre in lane is if you can sort of shove it into her or get the lane equilibrium and then out CS her, because Spectre, like, she doesn't have high kill threat and she has relatively low damage. What Spectre benefits from is she has really high regen and armor. And
30 seconds to
she's
battle.
good versus Axe for that reason, because he won't contest her CS as much, and then, you know, Haunt counters his Blink Dagger, Desolate's good versus really high armor, and traditionally it was like, when you blink Blade Mail Spectre, she doesn't care at all. Now, even if you blink Manta Spectre, like, she takes a lot less damage because she has one of the only skills that reduces pure damage in Dispersion. Oh, wait, Spectre's already gone for Desolate. This is very new technology, because you usually get Dispersion
The
and
battle
Dagger,
begins.
like, until level 8 or even like level 11.
I cannot believe what we're seeing! What just happened?
I was not content to wait
Regardless,
beyond.
it's kind of
Dangerous
interesting,
magics
you know,
bring me
18
to
bonus
now.
pure damage right out of the start if nobody's nearby. Oh, dude, Ocean's not expecting the Dispersion, the freaking Desolate.
Yeah, fight him, you're Desolate. But honestly, I think Tomato will just TP here. He doesn't know if there are more heroes here or not. He doesn't want to get zoned out. Oh no, he's going. He's gonna fight him. He can't hit him because of the move speed advantage and the slow, but yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why you would want Desolate in this lane, to be honest.
See if anything pops out immediately, or if, you know, maybe he tries to make some plays with it around the Haunt, gets more points in Desolate than you would anticipate. He could play more aggro style, possibly, who knows? But regardless, at least at the early going, you can see Dubu trying to push Brax back a little bit here, along with Tomato, and
Ooh, Desolate hit.
nice. Dude, easy.
I mean, it's not like it's a bad spell, right? Like, it's just your other spells are usually so good.
Right.
But anyways, I'm curious to see how that leads, because in my head, like, I would always take Dispersion or Dagger level versus Axe.
Back towards the mid lane, there's been a couple of games where I've seen Vipers just absolutely handle Invokers, particularly Quaswex Invokers. And you can see already 1-1, 2-1 now for Gunner, playing against the 6 of the Viper. Kind of a tough one, and Bryle definitely care business on the hero.
Yeah, I think this matchup is very hard for Invoker at early levels, but I think Gunner's like, I mean, he's obviously not winning the lane. He doubled up on CS, but I think he's winning the lane in the sense that he has the hill. Like, he's not going to get zoned out by Viper's level 3 timing, which is usually really worrisome for Invoker, just because the creep wave is fine for him.
So maybe he's like doing better than you would anticipate, or some other Invokers would do.
Yeah, like, he's already brought the solve. He's going to be at full HP. Brow's going to solve up, but Viper, like, he spends a lot of resources to harass mid. It has to, like, lead into denies or, like, zoning the other hero out from last hits. Otherwise, like, the hero doesn't, it's, like, not that good a hero. I mean, usually can always do that. That's why it's such a good hero, but...
Oh my god, look at that. First
That's
level
nice
for
tornado.
Spectre all time. Desolate 96 out of like over 2,000. So
I like how there's a stats there. Who leveled stats?
so funny. I don't need my.
But yeah, it's very rare to level Desolate at level 1 compared to Dispersion or Dagger.
His little thing there. And does look like a little bit of a chase down. I mean, we haven't really talked about this at all, but he did decide to send Sammy up to
Radiant's
the top lane
courier
as the
has
Burrows
been
strike comes
killed.
through. And he's gonna fall. Moon on first blood. Play.
And that's huge, because I think Sand King's a hero that we're really focused on this game. He's already sort of supposed to be Wait, they got Tomato.
Able to catch him. Yeah,
Top
that
lane though,
level
they're
2
also going
timing.
Sammy Boy.
Oh my god, everything's happening all at once. Sammy, gotta get away. Trying to escape. And the Apodic Shield keeps him alive, along with that salve. Very action-packed, although there's only been 2 deaths.
Yeah, I didn't actually get to see what happened with Spectre there, but no, maybe he should have gotten a skill that let him be more survivable. and it really would have helped them there. I mean, there's a reason why like how you play versus Axe or Spectre is like it's a very figured out matchup. Like all the way to 2016, this matchup was played, and it's always sort of been played a similar way.
A little bit of struggle there for sure, but they are going to get aggro onto Brax now. And this is a nice chunk of damage there. Is it enough for the kill? Oh no, the creep wave! It didn't proc. Oh man, unreal.
Maybe this S is pretty good actually, because if you think about it, if Tomato didn't die in that last engagement, like maybe Brax has slightly less levels, or maybe he has more levels, and then there's a kill there. Honestly, like I'm criticizing the Destiny choice, but we haven't seen enough to actually like think anything, right? I'm just going off my gut feeling. Like it feels weird historically. I don't know whether it's good or bad yet.
It is a very interesting one indeed there, and can salve up Tomato afterwards. They are bringing Ocean back over there as there's a little bit of a battle for the bounty runes, and will Brow be able to get there in time? Or no, my house. That one away.
He's gonna die for this stuff.
Yeah, he's gonna pay a price for sure. 10 goes up as he tries to walk away. Kill for Bryle. 2-1. The tip afterwards. Dude, he got a bounty rune. You can't tip him for that.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think the kills probably worked more, but one thing he did do is he drew Viper away from middle lane, and he made us spend a lot of mana to kill him. I think Gunnar sort of appreciated that, even if like Viper's also okay with it. It's one of those weird things where both teams are like, don't worry, I'm doing this, and the other team's like, don't worry, we're getting a kill or something. And like both teams are like just being happy about it.
The person that wins the game is the one that was actually right, though.
Of course, that's how Dota works.
Yeah.
The results-based thinking are always always the best way to approach life.
Nonetheless, 5 minutes into this one and fairly stratified. You can see that Naga's actually had a pretty good time up here, despite losing that Abba one time, and down bottom, a nice chunk of damage to Mono.
What just happened?
Takes him down. Again, having a nice time on this axe here.
And this is huge because in the panel, what I thought was like whoever gets a better game between the offlaners is really gonna take over the game, because both safe lanes are not inspiring, right? Like Wyvern Spectre, it's like and then like Abaddon Nagasan, same reaction. Right. Now Brax, he has his Vanguard. If you have Vanguard when Spectre's only level 3, I think this lane counter doesn't matter. Oh, he doesn't keep his wagon up. I'm very surprised by that.
Makes that rotation, and he gets a pull to bring Tomato completely out of mana though. Ocean is trying to drop down kind of low. Tornado afterwards, Brax backs out. Ocean retreating as well. Can the rest of them escape? It looks like it. So they force a rotation. Ryle came down bottom. Should be the end of it.
A really good heal from Dubu there, but still,
Normal
I mean,
gold is
that engagement felt a
but
bit weird.
this-
Like to go for a Spectre kill there, even though Spectre is just level 4, now he has a point in dispersion. He's a pretty tanky hero under the tower. I really would have liked to see 4 Zoomers sort of just tank 2 hits on the tower with the Vanguard on Axe and keep their wagon alive. Then they could have played that engagement for like the long con, you know? Where they just hitting the tower and Radiant feels really bad. I think they sort of got forced by the fact that Gunnar had already rotated, and they tried to do a bit too much on that rotation.
Okay, fair enough.
They don't lose any heroes, but Radiant feels really good about that one.
Meantime, while that was happening, you also saw that Moon was able to soak up some of that XP there in the middle on this Hoodwink, trying to get into levels. Almost level 4 here at just about the 8-minute mark. And in the meantime, Sammy, he's jungling. This is
Dire's
what you
top tower
anticipate.
is under attack.
Terrorblades, all those pesky illusion heroes. He's going to head off and just try and get into the levels. He'll probably be farming faster than them. Items. Ooh, they got chip vests though. That's great.
That is a nice item.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Nagasaki's gonna go
Radiant's
to the jungle,
middle
but
tower
when that
is
happens,
under
I think
attack.
generally it's really important to dive the support top. We see Undying, they're looking for Husky, but he managed to. That's a cool spot. I'm gonna use
Radiant
that spot.
structures are
Apparently, you
fortified.
don't get vision there, and
Radiant's bottom
he's
tower
They
is
don't-
under
he's
attack.
gonna keep sapping XP, being annoying, and just trying to hold on to this tower as long
I
as
can't believe
possible.
what we're seeing! What just
Meantime,
happened?
on the other side, as you can see, Ocean, Brax, they're
Dire's
pressuring
top
this turret.
tower
Now they
is
don't
under
have
attack.
the catapult, which is certainly annoying. But they do have this ward over in the area,
Radiant's
which is
bottom
scouting
tower
Tomato's
is under
movement,
attack.
and could go for a play on them now. Cookies in there. They've got the call afterwards. They need a spinner. Can they get it in time? Oh, They will get the spin, but not before the bushwhack comes in. And now, finally, are able to TP out anyway.
Unbelievable, we're seeing what just happened.
That was so cool from 4 Zoomers. You saw Brax, he was dancing the wave around, not cutting and killing it, because he knew Spectre would defend the tower, and he wants an enemy creep wave alive so that he can like spin on him when he calls him. And because of that,
Radiant's
they also
middle
the
tower
Viper
is
TP
under attack.
and the Hoodwink pushback, so they will take 4 heroes on Undying, and they get absolutely nothing from that. Like, Viper's a slow hero. He's TP to bottom and walk to mid 2 times. That's a really long time to walk when your hero's like 285 base MS. Or even slower than that, I think.
He's not like rotating and finding those kills necessarily either, which is, you know, maybe what you would have wanted. Gunner, oh, they got him. That is really
Dire's
rough,
middle
though.
tower
Ryle
is under
and
attack.
Boone able to make that rotation, but trying to keep him alive is Husky. With the Aphotic Shield, they drop down another sentry. Can they keep him alive? Aphotic Shield
Dire's
miscoil
top
back up
tower
in a
is
second,
under
and
attack.
barely Gunner is able to escape. Wow, that was a huge save by Husky.
Really clutch. 4 Zoomers are just making these clutch plays around the map to eke out disadvantages. With that being said, though, look at Saberlight's farm. This guy is beasting it up this game.
Dire's
He has the
structures are
Vanguard. He didn't go
fortified.
for some Tranko boots,
Dire's top tower is under
Blink
attack.
Dagger, Small Sun plays. He's going for the full like
Dire
Vanguard
are
chat
scanning.
build. You got Vanguard, you got Blink Dagger. You're beasting it in fights. You just tank everything and do a lot of damage.
Radiant's bottom
Whoa.
tower is under
Oh,
attack.
big play. Ocean almost able to catch him. That would have been crazy. But yeah, I mean, this is, of course, the problem with Spectre is it doesn't feel necessarily great being shoved out of lane like this. Though he does have level 6. We could maybe see a haunt play to go and try and farm out somewhere, or maybe just TP to a lane. We'll see what he decides to do there. Level 6 is coming up soon as the tomes are going to be transferred out to everybody. Right there, Tomato actually 3 levels behind Tomato Siren. But Ryle's found him. Song of the Siren comes out, trying to walk away so he can TP back home. Will not die. Do it that old.
Kill them all, kill them all.
Does manage to get back out of there.
So there's this concept in Dota about tower taking where it doesn't matter if you take an enemy tower if they're able to just take yours, right? Because you're just even. I mean, I don't know. I say concept, it sounds so pretentious. Like if you take a tower, they
Dire's
take
top
your tower.
tower
It's the
is
same.
under
right?
attack.
But the concept is that you want to, instead of like taking enemy towers,
Dire's
it's
top
more
tower
important
has
to
fallen.
defend your own towers when you have advantage. So we can do that. Saberlight with his Vanguard has rotated to bottom lane very early in this game. He's just, the entire purpose of this is just to hold this tower. And then they're gonna feel a map advantage because the creep wave, like it can sort of go further for them. You know, if you split the map by where the creep waves can go, they have a clear advantage on the map control.
Dire's bottom tower
I don't
is
think
under
it's
attack.
Well, I like your
Radiant's
concept,
middle
okay?
tower
They're
is under
beautiful.
attack.
Don't let
I mean,
anybody
it's
tell
a
you any different.
concept, but it's like, you know, -1 tower is equal to -1 tower. It sounds so, like when I said it, just, it's way too much. Like,
All right, it's fair enough. It's fair. Oh man. Well, nonetheless, the concept that we're seeing right now is that level 6 is on Snapfire. Hasn't been able to make any use of it yet on Ocean. Though he did chase the Spectre out of there, and we're getting pretty close to the blink on Axe. You talked about the Sand King after having gone back for, you know, the boots and the infused raindrops. He's now also going to go into that blink dagger. Going to be one of those timings when the battles might start breaking out pretty soon here. Smoke up on the side of Undying. Will they find anybody? Sammy
Unbelievable,
doesn't
we're
have
seeing
spawn.
what just happened.
This is a minute away and eyes on him. Can they get the catch for the kill on him? Oh, Power Rangers TP'd in to try and save. And it looks like Sammy will be fine.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
honestly, Husky has really been on point this game, right? I think he saved his scores multiple times this game. It's only been
Regeneration.
12 minutes and got their.
Oh, wait, did they find Tomato in this? Tomato in trouble.
Unbelievable, we're seeing what just happened.
So Tomato haunts in for that, and then not only does he not get the kill, he dies himself.
Don't
And
mind
honestly, an
if I do.
uncharacteristic mistake from Tomato. I think in a lot of the other series, like I'm thinking his Axe game, he was like a very zero-death player this tournament. But he makes a crucial error there where, you know, worst case in that last play, they force all of 4 Zoomers to topside, they force TPs, they can sort of take control of the rest of the map. But if you force enemy heroes to an area of the map, and then you die to them, then you just gave them purpose, you know? It's not forcing them there, it's just sort of giving them a kill. They just rotated on you by making a defensive move, and you don't want that. And unfortunately, like, he dies there, and that's honestly a very big
Dire's
gap.
bottom
See,
tower
Dire's
is
starting
under
to, like,
attack.
open
Bleed
up
out in the net?
the network
No.
lead between himself and
Let's get
Spectre.
started.
gold roughly is where we're at, and Axe finishing off that blink dagger. It's coming out to him right now. I might see if he can dig up a salve here afterwards, but it's smoke play to find Saberlight, but Saberlight, recognizing the inherent danger, is instead gonna go mid and stop this pressure coming from Husky. So, like you said, he's been playing really well. I thought his Coddle performance previous games were really good as well. A couple of like clutch smoke breaks and that type of stuff.
For sure, for sure. Underrated hero, by the way. Keeper of the Light, I think.
Yeah.
Oh man, their smoke popped, like it ended, and I thought it popped on the Axe on the own team. I got super confused. Brawl stuck down here
Radiant's
though. They know
bottom tower
TP,
is
or they
under
should
attack.
know.
Oh, and they're gonna
Dire's middle
sunstrike right
tower
on top
is
of
under
Duo.
attack.
He smoked, but they saw the TP, right? So they saw the TP.
Radiant
So
structures
I
are
don't know if they think
fortified.
he canceled it, or if they know he smoked. They know he's there.
Tornado hits, but Ocean hitting from the side, looking to get this and not get it denied. But looks like it's gonna go down most likely. Wasn't able to TP out of there. Tower does still stand, but it's only at 34 HP. And this whole time, they're farming on Naga.
They are, and these have these huge stacks for Axe. Brax is gigantic. I mean, he's actually, if I look at the map, I know he's more giant than this, but his Vanguard Axe, and he just farmed like a 4-stack, so he's feeling very good right now. Sorry, I drank
Radiant's
some water.
bottom tower
I'm
has
just a
been
disgusting
denied.
human being. So.
Listen, staying hydrated is happiness. That's the most important
That's
thing.
true. Everyone should drink some water.
Everybody out there, drink some water. Do it to yourself. Treat yourself.
Thank
And
you.
I'm gonna try and find a way to transition into the fact that Smaller just got tornadoed, and now
go check it
Gunner strikes his left. Coming out. Sharpshooter afterwards. Husky trying to get there. Oh! He came in and saved him. He jumped in front of the sharpshooter, saving a life, and Husky's saved it previously. You're saving him now. Naga. gets hit
Radiant's
by the
top
curse.
tower is under
Not
attack.
nearly enough damage there. Dude, Zoomers, they ate their Wheaties this morning. They're looking so good.
Man, they're playing just fantastically on the counterplays here. That was a get down, Mr. President. They forced out the Winter's Curse and turnaround. It's not just killing a Sanky there, because normally you're like, oh, you know, we killed the offlaner, that's nice. I wish we killed the carry. Sanky was the highest net worth hero on his team by far during that fight. When you kill the highest net worth hero on the enemy team, of course you get more gold and stuff, but it's like a huge tempo swing because you're removing so much power from the map. Oh, Midnight again, same play.
Literally the same thing that we saw before. This time, won't be able to even get the control because Husky was there. Very impressive stuff. 3 to 5, and
Simon Boy has Manta.
Hey, an opportunity there. I mean, how big? Oh my God, they're going on him again. Husky's there again. Tries to keep him alive. This time will not be enough.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, and finally take down Gunner, and might be able to pressure out this tower.
Dire's structures
Zoomers stop
are
this.
fortified.
I think they should try to defend this on Zoomers. I think they want to at least, but it's looking a bit hard here. They're rotating in the Axe. Oh, okay, the CP at me.
Also, right in on top of it. They TP him in, and the rest of Zoomers will be able to keep that tower alive. So no tier 1 tower is taken mid as of yet for either team.
And you can really appreciate sort of the tenacity from Team Undying there, you know? They know that this is the best play for them. They messed up the execution in the last fight. Maybe they need to wait a little bit longer for Moon Meadow so you can start channeling the ulti before pushback or something. But they go right back at it because while the first defense was really good, they did expend some resources, you know, the Mortimer's Kisses and etc. to defend that tower take the fight last time. So I like that play. Another smoke from 4 Zoomers that doesn't seem to be connecting. Tomato, he had a couple deaths in lane, but he seems to be dodging the smoke ganks really well this game.
He's keeping up definitely in farm with that Naga Siren. Obviously a little bit behind, but it's not the end of the world. And just gets the quick silver amulet too. See if he decides to take that one or maybe Dragon's Slail. There's a couple of others that are open. But it's interesting, right? Because normally we see these offlaners that are the ones that are sitting in front of towers, like the Sand King that we just saw a second ago, keeping them alive. In this game, it's felt like Zoomers have put Gunner on that role, and then it's up to Husky to keep them alive afterwards.
I mean, a little bit because... So the idea is that you want to put a hero that forms a wall there, right? Like your opponent wants to attack the zero, you put your hero that they can't kill. If you think about Abaddon, he sort of makes any hero into that type of reactor because he has the purge. Oh, top lane?
Yeah, they catch Ocean, and Brax realizes it's going to TP out. Ocean can't quite
Radiant's
get the
middle
finish.
tower is under attack.
They bring 4 up there, and
Radiant
in the meantime, immediately
structures are
afterwards,
fortified.
Bloody bounty!
tower. So you're saying the wall is what ABBA provides. He becomes
No,
your
Abba,
like, tech
he
symbol
makes
wall.
no, he makes someone else into the wall, right?
Right.
Like he could also stand there and spam it, but you don't really use the farm well. So you can allow
Radiant's
another hero
middle
to farm this
tower
really
is under
dangerous
attack.
area, and it worked really well the first time. I mean, you can't overdo it because you're only providing like a shield and a heal. It's not this. It doesn't make invoke into some centaur with hood, but it is quite nice. I would like to see Sammy Boy. He did rotate over and farm the ancients, but I'd like to see him take over the bottom side of the map. Another smoke from Undying here though. Do they? There's a lot of bats.
Able to catch him. They do have song.
Radiant's
and
bottom
gonna
tower
move
is
on
under
into
attack.
that area. save
Radiant's
his life,
courier
and
has been
Brax
killed.
Gonna saunter
Dire's
away,
middle
happy as a
tower
clam,
is under
get
attack.
the blink out. Jake will not succeed, and a little tip afterwards. Saberlight there by
Dire's top tower
Okay.
is under attack.
And good save by Sammy Boy there. As I was saying, I would like to see Sammy Boy, as he did, rotate over to the spot side because I think it gives your team a lot more options when Naga Siren or any hard carry can sort of pressure in the lane. When he's sitting in his own jungle, you can only really take the creeps when it gets to your tower. There's no real map pressure coming in there. You'll farm a similar amount. I mean, actually, you farm more bottom still, but you provide a lot more to your team in terms of like vision and map.
Well, game is kind of chilled out a little bit now, it feels like. We're just about that 20-minute mark, and Undying are 4 heroes mid lane. They just keep on wanting to have this pressure up there, and now they've decided to stick Gunner instead of into the mid, putting these Naga Siren Manta illusions in there. Is this the play that you kind of want to see from Undying? Is just
Dire's
sort of
middle tower
hellbent
is under
taking
attack.
down this tower here?
I think Undying are fine with this all. They're just trying to wait for the Spectre timing. Spectre's like, you could go from that to south, they don't go
Jump in, good call afterwards. Brax able to find him, and now the Mortimer's Kitchen's coming out completely with the sharpshooter Saberlight, dropping down. All the braces there. Manta dodge afterward. They turn out when it got the winner's curse.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Still gonna be enough. Up that ulti turns now. Tries to keep Sammy Boy alive. Is it gonna be enough though? Throwing out that cookie, trying to slow them down as much as possible. Another robotic shield. Sammy the guard, flashing there. Able to catch on to 2. Do they have enough to get him out? And even turn on to more of this. Otto is quite strong right now on this Spectre. But Brown is the lowest disengage in the world. Sammy did kill quickly with his illusions in the meantime, and now Song of the Siren for reinitiation. It's an opportunity here. Do they have enough to kill off Tomato? There's the net underneath the tower. Lots of damage. Manta afterwards. Jump forward.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Couldn't get the spins off because of it. Now the burrow strikes on the turnaround. Brax saved again by Husky. This dude is almost completely out of mana now. That ABBA has been everything this.
Man, and a really good timing hit from Undying there. I mean, even though they didn't quite have the Manta sound, they recognized that
Radiant's
Naga
top
sleep was
tower
down,
is under
and they
attack.
had this window where they can use Haunt to
Loaded
just take
to
the
the
fight.
gills.
I also want to say, like, Abaddon in that fight, he's so happy he went for the mana boots over the tranquil boots because how many shields did he get off? It had to be like 10 shields, like legitimately 10 shields. Full minute of just clicking W and Q on his allies. He just saved so many lives there. I thought Sammy Boy is dead for sure, and that would have been a disaster for Zoomers. Instead, they sort of get to turn it around. Now they have the Haunt, and you have a little bit of a window where I think you're actually stronger on the map than your opponent.
And, you know, I think that we talked about, like, what's the answer for Bryle on this Viper? How do you deal with them? And we're starting to see it a little bit with this ABBA. Like, how many poison attacks did Bryle get off in that
are
fight?
scanning.
And then they're not stacking up, right? Because you just keep on getting these constant aphotic shields. It's been fabulous.
That's a really good point. And Bryle actually, he ran out of mana during that fight. I mean, we're talking about the shields, but you're right. Bryle he must have hit like 40 times that fight. He was just out of mana completely, even with auto charges and wand. And Bryle, I really like his item build this game. He's gone for a very stable Boots of Travel, Dragon and Speed KB. It makes Viper actually feel like a normal hero when you can move around not at 300 MS. So Boots of Travel is always nice. Oh, he wants his TP on top lane. They're trying to set up with the glyph there, maybe.
Getting chased here. They were like, thought about dropping that epicenter, but decides not to, and it's gonna come back to fight it all. Now there's other heroes coming in, so 4 heroes rotating top, and Gunner is gonna TP out.
Radiant's
Good
middle tower
measurement
is
from
under
Team
attack.
4 Zoomers there, because if they had chased just a little bit further, Moon was already on the case. He was TPing up his level 3 in Scurry, and he was running up there. honestly, it looked far, but like another 2 seconds of moving forward and they would have caught a hero.
You know, I remember this interview that we just had with Gunnar, and we were asking, is there anything special that we're going to be seeing? Is there anything unique that's going to be going on? And one of the points that he brought up really comes back to me now, which was, you know, this is what our goal was. Our goal was to get to grand finals, and this looks like a different For Zoomers team. Not to say that they're like sandbagging or anything like that, but I will say that they look a lot crisper. They've been getting better throughout the course of the qualifiers, and this is the best that I think they've looked so far. And they're up 3,000 gold against Undying. This is going to be a series.
For sure, and I think we've seen that historically, right? Oh, 1 second, they're going to Husky here.
I can't believe you just stood there.
Oh, he looks like he's out of there.
Alright, he finishes his 8th lens and his Tranquil Boots. This is a very rich Avalon. Typically a hard position 6 hero where you don't get any farm, but he's actually the same network, effectively the same network as Moba.
That's crazy. Great.
Sorry, what was I talking about?
Invisibility.
Oh, yeah, historically, we saw at the Animajor that the teams who got to go into like the group stage and wildcards, they actually performed very well in the tournament, specifically
Radiant's
Bigma and
middle
LGD,
tower is
because
under
you
attack.
garner so much experience. I think for Zoomers, they sort of had an effect like that. They
Dire's
lost to the
top
great
tower
team
is
Arcot,
under
who
attack.
was just outplaying them the entire series. They learned a lot from that team, especially the 5 position player. And then now they're taking that experience into the series, and yeah, I agree, they're looking really crisp here.
They've definitely come up with some good answers, at least to a couple of the heroes. But Undying, they're nothing to slouch at either. This combination of like the Saberlight Burrow Strike into the Sharpshooter has proven to be really deadly, barring some like crazy outplays coming Zoomers afterwards. For now, at
Dire's
least,
top tower
map
is under attack.
sort of split down the middle a little bit.
Radiant's
here, trading
bottom
off the
tower is under attack.
Unbelievable, we're seeing what
They
just
go,
happened.
Sunstrike, see, hey, I'm taking Roche. They're gonna give it to him for free. It feels like that's really. I don't know.
No, they're contesting this. They know the Roshan is not that fast, and they have Nagasar. There's no way you give Roshan for free.
Radiant's bottom tower
Over
is
this
under attack.
direction. Can they get there quickly enough? Now, smoke breaks first for Ocean. Saberlight looking for a big
Sean has fallen to the ground.
It's a good enough initiation after the fact, though. Broken. Trying to get the kill onto one.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So low, they do kill Ocean. Sammy, in the meantime, though, turns now. On to the Spectre. Tomato, can they bring him down? Ocean coming back in for round 2.
Radiant's
They have to
middle
buy back
tower
for
has
this one. They've
fallen.
already killed that tier 1 tower in the mid lane. The Sammy going on to Brile, but it's a little bit too scary. Saberlight still has Epi ready to go. As God, look at those Naga illusions tear up Tomato. Wasn't enough for the kill, but does have a lot of damage. So now they gain 5,000 gold throughout the course of that on Zoomers, even though they fought back on a hero.
I can't believe. Well, I mean, first of all, like it goes okay for them, but I can't believe they gave up the Aegis. They had the Shrine. Did they? I didn't click all the heroes, but did they not have TPs? Like they scouted out so early with the first Sunstrike, and then they did the second Sunstrike when Roshan was like at 50%, and then it took them long enough that they were just able to burst it, Team Undying. I think one of the underrated. I mean, Echo Saber is meta on Spectre now, but it really makes your Roshan fast because every 5 seconds you basically get a double hit.
Plus the Manta
Radiant's
for the,
bottom
for
tower
Shifts,
is under
so,
attack.
like 180.
In the street.
Burrow Strike is there. Sammy.
I have no haunt, but I don't think you want to fight this on first
Radiant's
Zoomers.
bottom tower
Sammy
has
trying to
fallen.
TP out of there. Song will end and they will escape. So that's for a catch. But again, the thing that's really interesting about this is they're still gaining a gold advantage on the Zoomers. I feel like Sammy is just farming so efficiently now.
Out of
The
you.
bot tower did die, so that explains a little bit, but I'm surprised that, I mean, you have an Aegis, and the gold lead has gone from 5 to 7k. I mean, we shouldn't be so surprised this game, because this Aegis isn't like a, oh, we are stronger than you, we're gonna get an Aegis and then control the map and fight you. This was like a, oh god, please let us have this Aegis, or like I'm scared on the map thing, you know? So,
For sure.
but that being said, it's not like the heroes on 4 Zoomers lineup are overly compelling. Like, if you have Phoenix Tidehunter, Spectre, or Phoenix Tidehunter Medusa lineup, and you're up this much gold, then it feels like they can never take a team fight with you. Nagasaren, she's sort of like fake network like Alchemist, just because how she ban fights is not the same as other carry girls. That's not to say she's not strong as a hero or like strong in the man fight. It's just different, you know? Like a 20k Nagasaren is not the same as a 20k Spectre.
For sure, definitely. And I think that one of the things that's going to be really interesting to watch is like
Radiant's
how you can
top
try and
tower is
isolate
under
those
attack.
supports from Undying, because they're kind of maneuverable in weird and funky ways, right? You got this Wyvern, fly over cliffs, you hoodwink that can scurry around. But it feels like if Naga Siren illusions ever end up getting on them, then all of a sudden,
Radiant
like, you
are
kill those
scanning.
heroes, and then it kind of doesn't matter if, like, you can't deal with the Spectre one-on-one because the Naga Siren is that much bigger, and she has the whole rest of her team that's still alive. So
For sure.
it'll be,
And
something
it's
to
worth
watch.
mentioning that the supports have the only real AoE spells.
Right.
Dire's
I mean,
top
of course, he
tower
has Sand
is
King,
under
but he's going
attack.
to use his spells to initiate. Like, sorry, only real AoE reset spells. And like Dubu, like, he's been playing well this game. He had a couple of really clutch curses, but his net worth has sort of reflected a bit of the
Radiant's
style that Team
middle
Undying
tower
play.
is under
He's
attack.
not going to have the itemization that normally you might
Dire's
have
top
to deal with the
tower
Naga
is under
Siren.
attack.
Like, literally, if one illusion runs at him, he has to Q, hit it, and run away. And,
Radiant's
you know,
bottom tower
Simon,
is
he
under
almost
attack.
has butterfly. You might miss that Q, and you might just
Structures
die
are
to an illusion.
Yeah, that would be quite bad.
Radiant
It would be super
structures
embarrassing.
are
Professional
fortified.
opinion.
Radiant's bottom
Well,
tower
they're
is
gonna
under attack.
Mid
Dire's top tower
send some
has
illusions
fallen.
up to high ground. They do take on Undying, the tier 2 tower in the top lane, but already this pressure on the bottom tier 3. Take about, what is this, 1,000 damage off of it? They're slowly but steadily whittling away these Undying towers. Now with this butterfly, like you mentioned, things are looking not too bad. I guess, oh wait, that connects, he had some vision.
That's a
Gonna
bingo.
try and go now.
Invisibility.
Jason sending those illusions in, and Moon's gonna be able to walk out, but they do get that stun. Sammy, Aquatic Shield comes out, pops the Song of the Siren, but the BKB, Bryle.
Radiant's
down,
middle
is it gonna
tower
be enough
is
damage?
under
I
attack.
don't believe what we're seeing. What just
And he
happened?
manages to escape, but that's gonna be some map control regained by Undying.
For sure. They have to pop the songs so Naga Siren's a little bit more vulnerable, but it is a bit hard to push forward because Viper now also doesn't have the BKB. We do have, I also want to mention that Brax, you know, he went from Vanguard Blink Dagger, and then he realized he's playing, like, he's making good plays. Oh, so 1 second, they're jumping Ocean here.
Is it? Chance, Burrow, and Brax for the turnaround. Okay, let me TP out. Oh no! Brax did BKB first. Sammy in the meantime kills Dubu. Alright, things got really weird. So Brax is gonna die. And he kills Saber like, oh, a taunt, the turn. What's going on? Can he get a spin? It's not gonna happen.
A hero died.
How dare you steal my ass? I'm coming for you. Guys, turn it, Huskies.
Radiant's
They're
middle
taking a
tower
lot of
is
damage.
under
Trevor
attack.
shows up. This is a really weird fight here for Zuma. And Undying, if they get too far out of the vision as well, they could almost die. Sammy will back out Tomato, trying to give a little bit of chase. But it looks like, at least for now, they're going to separate, head back to farming their sides of the map again. 10 to 10, super even game.
Just a small note about that fight. I think Saberlight was dead there if Brown doesn't get the Nanotox onto Axe. There was a lot of units hitting Axe, but his BKB ran out, and luckily, like, that break from Nanotoxin ends up saving Saberlight. That would have been one of the biggest, like, big play turns I've seen. You know, you get like 3v1 ganked on the side lane, your support TP's out leaving you, stupid core, you don't deserve my help, and then like you still get a turnaround kill. But anyways, I don't know who won that fight. I think it was Undying slightly, but no one's feeling too bad about that fight. Oh, they jump gutter though.
Yeah, they got him. Did just get the Agnex completed. Gonna have to try and run out of there. Doesn't have a TP. They will be able to disengage. Now, this is going to be one of the big ones to watch for. We talked about this combo in the draft. It was two of their first picks. Voker, Axe, Cataclysm, raining down Hellfire.
Radiant's middle tower
It's
is
going to be
under
something
attack.
to watch for. Do Undying have what they need to deal with that right now in this?
Well, the supports are really poor. So Lumion, he's starting on his Aeon disc, but Winter Wyvern does not have a Force Staff. So I think it might be a scary timing for them. I will say, okay, I want to talk about this though. Brax, he went for
Radiant's
Blink,
middle
Vanguard,
tower
BKB,
is under attack.
and I really like this because I've seen so many offline acts just go straight for that Manta. And maybe he would have preferred to have that Manta in the last engage, but you know, he has Naga Siren, Invoker, dual cores. These heroes actually do a high amount of damage if you provide lockdown for them. And
Dire's top tower is under
I
attack.
think he has a BKB coming. Yeah, he has a BKB, Invoker has a BKB, Axe has a BKB, and you feel like a real team. Like, he would only have Manta right now, and they'd be like, oh, wait for BKB, wait for my position 3 to farm. It just feels so bad. I really like this decision.
you mentioned, this is a huge timing,
Dire
and they
are
really don't
scanning.
have much that goes through that, with the exception of
Radiant's
some
middle tower is under attack.
So we're gonna have to keep our eyes on this here as Moon reveals himself. Gunner looking, tornado lift up. Heavy right on top.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Feels so good.
One goes down, Saberlight though also going into the meat grinder. All of these heroes are starting to get torn apart. It's going to be enough. Sammy, Rooted, Warstaff, trying to keep them away. Oh, but they bring it. Trying to get the song of the siren off, and they will be able to. So they'll disengage. Trade 2-for-1. In the end, it wasn't enough for the Zoomers, but Undying win that fight.
Yeah, really great from Moon Meander there. He just freshly finished that Aeon disc. They thought they could go on him. You know, Invoker pokes his head, and they get a really good jump. Just, you know, Haunt with Sand King, it's always going to be terrifying. I don't know what happened in that fight, but Abaddon was just completely unable to get to his Invoker there, and as a result, like, for Zoomers, they look so good. Their formation looks so good. One bait by Moon Meander, and your backline tries to go in too early, and they take the fight on Undying. And this usually, I would say, is sort of like the beginning of the end for Nagasiren lineups. I think a lot of people, if you've played pubs with Nagasiren, she farms a lot, she pushes out all the waves, she makes the game super annoying. But eventually, her network sort of falls off. Again, we were saying, like, eventually Spectre is going to get 6 slots worth of items. He'll out-carry Nagasiren.
That's got to
you know, Sammy Boy, he's used his RNG luck, he's gotten the spider leg, so he's going to scale for an additional item. It's a huge deal on this hero.
I think that that's going to be an interesting one to watch, is how these dynamics play out as we get to the later stages. We do have that next tier of items just 3 minutes away as well. Trolls will be spawning at that point. It's Sand King going to reconnect. Looks like we'll be good to go and back underway in just a moment here. You know, I expected to see the Cataclysm. I guess there just wasn't a good opportunity for it in that last fight. It was a little bit awkward there.
I mean, he was getting gone on, right? So like he's casting Ice Wall, he's casting Ghost Walk, some Deafening Blasts. He's just trying to survive because, I mean, I don't know what the right choice was, honestly. Even if he slowed it down himself, but I think it's impossible to criticize. Like, you just try to live with your BKB and stuff. Also, I think one thing about the last fight that's really important is that both of Undying supports actually lived through this fight. So if you click on Dubu now, he was having a really rough game, but that fight gave him enough gold to get all the way to the Force Staff. Now this Cataclysm is like, it's way diminished in impact. Like, you would have to jump the Winter Wyvern and the person you want to jump at the same time in order to hit the Cataclysm. And I mean, that's a big deal. You also have Haunt to sort of tank the Cataclysm Sunstrikes. And I mean, potentially Manta. But you also just like, if you Haunt on the Axe, the Cataclysm will do less damage. Big deal.
Right, yeah. I mean, and now the other thing to sort of keep our eyes on, long cooldowns for Undying. Not crazy long, but several of them that are fairly long, including Haunt. But Undying going to take Roche in this time period. This is huge. I was going to say that maybe Zoomer's could have come and done this. Do they go in to check? Dude, Sammy's right by there. He's going to walk into it. They spot him here. Have to be careful.
Roshan has fallen to the ring.
Gets him away from it. Unreal.
And it was just a clutch rune and timing on the Roshan respawn from Team Undying. Vector gets an illusion. It's more damage than a double damage from Spectre, and that Roshan died really fast. I mean, fast spawn and a Roshan, and that's the second Roshan. That's so big for them.
That is tremendous for Team Undying, and Zoomers gotta be kicking themselves. I mean, he even went in to go check it, but it just was such a quick spawn. And
how long that spawn was? Because I didn't actually see. It was instant.
It must have been. Oh no, and Sammy now caught. Do they have enough to kill him? Looking for the finish, trying to bring him down. He's down to such low range. Wrong to the siren, not gonna save him. Undying, looking good here in game number 1.
It had
Whether the first storm
out of you.
I mean, how much does that change things?
No, I think Undying are going to win this game for sure now. But I think that their position, I mean, for sure, like, their position is very dominant. Also, that was just a bad death from Sammy Boy. Because you know the enemy team Roshan, and then you just farm the camp closest to Roshan. So it's a little bit of like an inexperienced mistake, or I'm not too sure what it was. Maybe he's mad about the Roshan, they're yelling about stuff. But it's like
Dire's
it demonstrates
middle
a lack
tower
of
is
focus in
under
this game
attack.
because that can't happen. Not right after you lost an Aegis.
Down bottom, Gunner forced to pop that BKB. Go for the out. Rax is still hanging out here looking. Cataclysm, there could be enough, but no, they're just gonna
Dire's
cut the
middle
waves. That's what
tower
he's looking
is under
for
attack.
afterwards. Or just TP.
Dire's middle tower
Yeah, and we
has
can see
fallen.
like one death on the Nagasar into Roshan, a 7k gold lead evaporates, and that 7k gold lead, I would have put like the odds at this game at pretty much even. I don't think Zoomers were ahead enough. Now when it's even, like I think it's a Dying's game to lose right now.
They are in a good position. That being said, we've seen crazier things, but this has always been that
Dire's
strength
bottom
of Team
tower
Undying
is under attack.
their ability to sort of stick through a game and not drop the ball. The question becomes now, like, you know, first of all, can Zoomers make a
I'm not
fabulous
opposed to
play, but
taking the
second of all,
occasional
are Dying going to be able to sort of stick with it and see it through?
Sorry, there's just so much happening in this game. I didn't
Dire's
even realize.
structures
Click on
are
Saberlight.
fortified.
His
Yeah.
build is
Dire's
lit.
bottom
Like
tower is under
Kai
attack.
Assange, Eternal Shroud. That's a very Chad build. Just very tanky. I think he disassembled his Aeonus for the Eternal Shroud and sorry, he disassembled his
bottom
Vanguard, I
tower
can't speak
has
English.
fallen.
For Eternal Shroud and Aeonus, just making the most of its gold.
Right? Interesting things going on here. Husky is going to get found.
He's alone.
This is nearby the rest of the team, but they're not going to opt to try and save them at all. So,
Wait, is he TPO?
TP out? Oh, what a god.
Tip him.
What a god.
No tips? Okay, 4 Zoomers are mentally destroyed. Because if I was position 5 and I'm at that play, like I'd literally yell at my teammates. This is just so. I mean, it made no difference because you're a useless, worthless support in the end, but
Right.
it should feel good, you know? If they're not feeling good about that play, then I'm a bit worried.
True. There's a fair point there. It's one of those things where you need to find something big where you can sort of regain that momentum within the game. Start feeling yourself slightly. We'll have to see. I think that they started to pick up a gem too, or at least Abba had it queued up. He still hasn't been able to finish buying it yet.
Yeah, they really need that. Like, there's a sick ward in their base, there's a ward in both sides of the jungle. Undying, they just have great vision right now. Even a ward to catch the Nagasar and split push in their own jungle. And I saw for a moment there, like, 4 Zoomers heroes were stuck in their base, and you're playing a Nagasar lineup against Spectre. Like, if that isn't an indication of the state of the game, then I don't know what is, because that's awful. Like, you don't want to be stuck in your base Nagasar versus.
They do get this next tier of items, and they have been able to make a little bit of a move out here onto the map. Still not feeling great,
Radiant's
but
top
Sammy
tower
is
is
farming
under
up
attack.
the enemies.
Dire's middle tower is under
So
attack.
that's something here. Undying in
Radiant
the meantime,
structures
trying
are
to make a move
fortified.
down bottom, see if they can take
Dire's
the
bottom
tower.
tower is under
Maybe
attack.
looking for more.
They do have the
Dire's
level of
bottom
Spectre,
tower
and they're
has
going to want to
fallen.
force 4 Zoomers back to base here. Axe and Nagasar are on the map here, but they're going to have to see that.
Dire's bottom
Samuel's
tower
doing a
is
good
under
job of cutting
attack.
waves, but you know, what can you do? You have to come back to base.
Dire's
Maybe
structures
done now.
are fortified.
They're gonna pop that glyph.
Dire's bottom
Game
tower
is
is
looking
under
rather
attack.
rough. They have the Timeless Relic right now on the Snapfire. Get some vision up on the high ground. And Saberlight looking at the flying rats.
Dire's
They
bottom
spotted him.
tower
He didn't
has fallen.
BKB again. He didn't see that the Saberlight was right on top of him. Oh, they're even gonna Brack pop.
Radiant's top
He's
tower
down
is under
and
attack.
killed Tomato right on top.
And you can see, like, one of the signs of these really good teams. Man, those Naga Illusions do nothing to Spectre. This Butterfly versus Illusion hero is very strong conceptually, as you don't want to buy MKB on any of those heroes, but it's looking rough for him.
Husky gonna get chased down. Ulti is popped. Has to back out of there. Keeping that damage on. There's 4 stabs. There's freaking the psychic headbands. Even pops now the Song of the Siren. Sammy's just gonna run back inside the base, but they've used absolutely everything. They do have buyback on the axe.
That was such a good play from Undying, though, to set up on the Axe. They were feinting the high ground push bottom, so there's no way that Rax is going to think they're going for him. But Undying, they're so fast. They're making this move, and they're already setting up the gutter bottom here. See? This is what I think Undying's strength is, though. I think when the map gets split up, they're just as good. I think they're actually better than EG at this, and it's like a weird thing to say because EG are like top 2 at the 2 majors in a row. But for catching heroes, when the map is split up, I think they do an extremely good job. They're just always on point. A lot of it has to do with like Moon Meander. You can think even back to his OG days, one of the best killers in Dota.
Earthshaker. So essentially
Dire
him.
are scanning.
But Bryle, dude, they catch him. Oh, they knew right where he was.
And that was
Just a
so
couple units
close.
off.
Sammy Boy had the Abyssal Blade, he had the Spider Legs, but they just couldn't quite find him there. And you know, that's the difference. Sometimes that's all it comes to in Dota. The 2 picks that they got on Axe this game, barely getting him as he TP's out because, you know, he's not expecting a stun to come out. Whereas Undying, they're just getting out. We saw like 3 or 4 smoke dodges from the Undying side, and Nagasan could never get true map control. Even though he's 6-slotted, it's not a real 6-slot again. It's a Nagasan 6-slot. He doesn't feel good about it.
Right, well, and I mean, he is, 4,000 gold ahead of the Spectre right now. You can try and push the lanes. It feels like kind of regained some of that map control, but question will be when Undying do decide to actually take these fights, how do you win them? It's looking a little bit rough right now for the Zoomers. Tornado will go. But Ali, I mean, you've been in plenty of these games as well, I'm sure. Like, things can sometimes go a little bit crazy, right? Like,
For sure.
I mean, what other things?
Is there a fight here? They're smoking up on Undying. This is a good smoke.
They know they're at one. Yes, they do. Dead so quickly. Now looking for more. Who are they gonna find? Jumping away is Brax. Be able to catch him as he TP's out, and so too will Tagger again. Went right through in the Burrow strike in this location. But yeah, man, losing the Naga like that one hurt.
It really does. And
Illusion.
I mean, it's not like 4 Zoomers don't have options. In games like this, what Nagasar can do is she can split the map in a way that your teammates can get pickoffs. They do have tools to do that with the Cataclysm, the Axe, and the Snapfire. The reason I'm feeling a bit defeatist about this game
Radiant's
is because I think
courier
Undying has
has
just
been
done
killed.
such a good job on the
Dire's
map that they
bottom
haven't
barracks
get opportunities. Nagasar's done
Dire's
the
bottom
50
barracks
buyback, you know, there's a number. This is going to be good for Gaxus here.
Game is looking rather rough. They're just gonna get pulled back in again.
Dire's bottom barracks
Back out dead on Undy. Now jumping forward, Brax trying to find himself a kill into 2, but with that 4 staff away, keeps him alive. And now Brax in no man's land, Undying doing what they do best. They're gonna have to buy back now and try and save him. We'll get Brax away for the moment. There's a heck of a lot of damage onto him. They will be able to actually keep their second set of racks alive, but that one rack's going down, that one hurts. Playing with an
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Not enough.
So they, instead of killing a lot of Raxes, Undying sort of chose to dive a little bit, maybe secure the game. Oh, I actually thought they had Viper Shard. Okay, so their play is probably better. And, you know, they forced out the Abaddon buyback. He actually got Furry ulted, and he couldn't press his ulti because, you know, he expects the oddman to go up, but you're broken and just one-shot him. Maybe it kills you anyways, because you can't. Never mind. Anyway, so now the problem for Undying is that we saw like 6 Naga illusions like 10 minutes ago hit Tomato, and they did no damage. Who's gonna play?
Jump in, Gunner, gets the first one on. Does have buyback. Trying to play to get vision. Counter initiation for Brax might be what they're looking for, but Sammy, he's getting gone on. Second round. Tornado completely with Burrow strike afterwards. The big jump in. Is there anything else left to take right here? Zoomers, they can call Cataclysm. Is it going to be enough? They take down Doozle. Now looking for one. That's a buyback for him. Godlike on Bryle. Sammy gets turned around upon as well. And they're going to be able to chase him down, kill him in the duration of the Song of the Siren. Unless, oh no! All of the butterfly misses. They're still holding on for life. Downtown though, tries to get him. Oh, he's jumping in front again.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They're hoping for some small semblance of a chance at victory. And Sammy gonna have to
Dire's
reach
middle
him back
tower
up and
is under
found
attack.
Undying. Set their sights on that tier 3 tower. Taking a second set of racks here if they can.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
What a hard game for them to deal with right now.
Just, if you look at their Volcrest
Dire's middle
the
barracks
heroes pick
has
for 2
fallen.
spells. I guess 3 spells. It's Cold Snap up to earn, it's Cataclysm, and it's Alacrity. And at the end of the day, like, Nagasar with this item though is the worst Alacrity.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And staying alive yet again. Meanwhile, the winner's curse onto an Axe illusion, but they got their eyes set on Burrow afterwards. And in for a kill. Sammy goes down as well. GG. Dying.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant victory.
Had a good beat on the game. I think they should be now shitty teams like Arkosh. So this is just par for the course. It's part of the script.
See if the script continues to favor Undying, or if